Okay, boys and girls, today we are going to make a pom-pom, and we're going to be able to do this in our fiber arts center that I'm opening up. Pom-poms are kind of fun to make. The first thing you need to do is cut a piece of string about 12 inches long, and your fingers are what you're going to use to make your loom, and you're going to put this string right in the corner, right in between your two index fingers, so it's just hanging there. It's going to hang out. All right, now
you don't have two index fingers on the same hand, sorry.
What do you have?
An index finger and a middle finger.
Okay, so here's our index finger and this is our middle finger. All right, so as you see, I have a helper here, and his name is Mr. Newman. So I'm going to hold on to the end of my string so it doesn't get away. And then I'm just going to start wrapping. Whoops, it got away. I'm going to start wrapping around my fingers. And don't do it tight. You don't want to cut your circulation off, and you don't want to make it difficult to get it off your finger. And you'll have a tendency to do it too tight. So just try really hard not to pull the strings tight. So I'm making my pom-pom, and this yarn is cool because as you see, it's changing colors. It's going from yellow to green to different shades of blue. And so the more yarn you use, the thicker your pom-pom is going to be. So it's looking good. I think we've got about the amount that we need. This is going to make a nice pom-pom. So the only thing you have to do now is just cut the end off. So that is done. All right, now it's time to use this string that we kept hanging out in between your two fingers, and we're going to pull it. My assistant's going to pull it really tight, and he's going to tie it just like he's tying a shoe. So he puts the knot through the fingers. Now I'm going to slide this off. It's hard. Okay, and we're pulling it really tight. Now I'm going to hold my finger here to keep it tight. All right, and then I'm going to make a loop, and pull each end. You see I have each end here. I'm pulling, and I'm kind of putting pressure on my knot, and now I'm going to pull really tight like so. Okay, so now I have a knot, and it's holding it together pretty tight. If you don't think it's tight enough, you can wrap the string around again and make another knot and make it tighter. But I think that's going to be fine. So now is the fun part. Fun part's when you get to cut it. So you're trying to stick the scissors, and they've got to be pretty sharp scissors, inside the loops, and you're going to be cutting the loops. And you're going to go all the way around to cut all the loops. You may miss a few. You might have to go back if you missed some, and make sure you get them all. Now don't cut this string that we tied. You want to keep that. That's kind of like your handle. So now we're going to fluff him up. We're going to check out his hair here and see how it looks. And it looks a little wild and shaggy, so he needs to get a trim. He needs to go to the barber and get a nice trim. So some of the hairs are too long. Look at that yellow one there. So I'm going to snip it and make it shorter. But when we do this, if you do it over a trash can, it makes it nice and neat, but you could do it over a piece of paper, so that way you won't have this fuzzy mess you have to clean up, and it won't get on the floor. So I'm just giving it a haircut all the way around to try to have a nice even pom-pom. So you have to keep spinning it and looking to see, well, there's some wild ones, which ones are sticking out. And if you fluff it up some more, this yarn was kind of wrinkly. You see how wrinkly it is? It's got all these little kinks in it, so my hairs aren't laying straight. It's kind of curly hair. All right, and that's all you really have to do is just give it a little haircut. Make sure you like the size that it is, and you're keeping this string so that you can tie this onto like a zipper pull, or you can sew it onto a hat. You could put a pin on it or a safety pin and add it to a piece of clothing. So they're kind of cool, and you can do them in different colors. The other thing you can make with pom-poms are little sculptures, pom-pom sculptures, which I will show you how to do that in another video. You can make little teddy bears, little chickens, different little animals out of pom-poms and glue wiggly eyes on them. All right, so that's how you do it. Easy peasy.